Let's see. Let's see. I would love everyone to come on camera, as many of you as would like to do so. I saw some of you were on camera. Now you're back off camera. So yeah, let me see your smiling faces. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you doing that, buddy. Hey, Ron, how you doing? You were number two tonight. You were number two. So Thomas was number one. Okay, I got you. All right, all right. G Money, I saw you on camera. I think you're in your vehicle there. Hey, Jim Burrow and Mike and Kwame. Man, that looks good, man. I hope I can get mine looking good like that. Man of the cloth, Reverend Don. How you doing? LK back on camera. There we go. Thomas back on camera. Michael Palermo and Gene and Jerry. I saw your beautiful bald head on camera, Jerry. Hey, Uncle Roo. Man, you done shaved it a little bit. You trying to come over to my side. Is that what you trying to come over to my side? Yeah. Hey, Bill and Sean. Sean, I have not forgotten about you, okay? Simon and Keith Lacey. Hold on here. Give me a moment. Let me find you, Keith. Keith, I'm gonna make you co-host. So if you want to come on and say something, I know I see you there walking. You feel free to do so. Hey, Chizoba, I hope I said that right. Hey, Harvey and Thomas and Yusuf and Lucille and Jay and Joseph. Hey, thank you, Chizoba. Did I say that right? Thank you for coming on camera. Hey, Clarence and Tony and Ken and let's see where we stop. Let's see where we stop. Cynthia and Pamela and Ken again and Marcia and Andy and Charles, Jennifer, iPhone, Lyndon, Julene, Mike B, Andy, James Crutchfield. James Crutchfield, man, I hadn't seen you in a bit to see you. Chet, James Roberts, what's up, buddy? T and Yuri, welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure we'll have some other folks joining us. We got a lot of content to cover. I will say this: I normally like to have an optional Q&A. I actually will be hitting the road at like 2 in the morning, um, so we won't do the optional Q&A, but I do want to make sure that if you have any questions, they do get answered. Okay. Give me a moment here. What's going on here? Why is that not acting right? Bear with me. Try that again. That's what I want. All right. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put some resources up here since we won't have our normal Q&A. Give me a moment. I want to make sure that wasn't Keith hitting me here. Bear with me. Keith is telling me can't talk tonight, but wanted to support. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Okay, so we definitely want to make sure that any questions that may come up, if they're not answered as we go through tonight's content, that you get your questions answered. So I want you to make a note of our email address. Now, if you're sending an email, do me a favor and also let me know who referred you to our community. But we build with the larger community in mind, even people that may not be a part of our particular network. If they find value in how we share and how we communicate with our community, then feel free. All right. So if you have any questions that we don't get answers to tonight, shoot those to admin of the cashflowclub.info versus.com. Notice.info versus.com. Now, our team Telegram is right there. It's https t.me, the Cashflow Club Telegram, the Cashflow Club Telegram. And we're going to be talking about a phenomenal project tonight called Sosana, the Sosana Telegram. I want to make sure that everybody's a part of our Telegram and Sosana's Telegram. If something is happening from a higher level, a corporate level, it's going to be discussed in the Sosana Telegram. I will try to relay as much information as possible, but I might miss something. Okay. And this way you can get it right there from the horse's mouth. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about a phenomenal project called Sosana. We're going to be participating in Sosana 2.0, and we're just days away from that launching in the public sphere. Well, if there's a 2.0, then there was a 1.0. And my buddy, who is not in a position to talk today, but he's on the Zoom to support, Keith Lacey, he reached out to me a few weeks ago with an audio text. And in the audio, he said something like this: dude, he didn't call me dude. I use dude and do that. Dude, you got to take a look at what's going on. In just a few weeks, I went from under $4,000, okay, 3,910, you can see there, to a value of 263,000. Now I want you to pay attention to the dates. March 27th, hopefully you can see that, okay? From March 27th, $3,910, he purchased Sosana tokens. Please don't go and try to purchase Sosana tokens now, because a new contract is getting in place. Okay. All right. So we're going to wait until they give us the green light to purchase Sosana tokens. But this is what happened in the beta in 2.0 and in 1.0. By the way, do you need $3,910? No, you can do with what we'll share. You can do as little as $50 worth of Sosana. The reality is, because this is going to be on the public market, you could buy $1 worth of Sosana, but you won't be able to do what we're going to talk about tonight without at least $50, okay, worth of Sosana. Now, what does that mean? Nobody has to break the bank, okay? All right. Now, look at what it was in April, on April the 12th. Just a few weeks later, 2.5 weeks later to be exact, 263,681.48. Now I've got to give you my disclaimers. All my if, ands, maybe, perhaps. Can't promise anything. All right. So nobody is suggesting that if you had $4,000 or 400 or 400,000, that it's going to grow. All right. So, as we say all of the time with our community, if you cannot afford to lose it, you cannot afford to participate with it. All right. Many of you are going to get excited tonight. Some of you might not get a lot of sleep tonight once you get it. But still, do not put your family in harm's way. Okay. So, what is this all about? So, Keith gets me onto a private Zoom with a gentleman by the name of Mark Ross. Mark is one of the co-founders of the Sosana project. Okay. And so Mark, very well versed in the cryptocurrency arena, just a wealth of information. But I'm starting to get to know this dude over these past few weeks. It's hardly a day that goes by now that I'm not in direct contact with both Keith and with Mark. Okay. So Mark is telling me about meme coins, and I didn't know what that was. I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know just how big of a universe it is inside of the cryptocurrency marketplace. So I want to share this with you as if you know nothing or no thing about meme coins. Okay. All right. So by the way, do me a favor. Some folks are raising hands. Lower your hands, because again, we won't have an opportunity tonight, because I got to be on the road at 2 in the morning to address questions in a live session. So once again, make a quick, take a quick picture if you need to of that content. Email, Team Telegram, Sosana Telegram. Okay. All right, so what's a meme coin? What's a meme coin? So just starting to learn about a little bit about AI, and I typed it into Chat GPT, and it said that meme coins, the origin is that meme coins are often start as a joke or something that's lighthearted, a social experiment. They're typically based on internet trends and characters and even celebrities. All right. Well, I'm thinking, okay. Well, is there going to be any value there? Is this a way for us to really do well? Obviously, in the proof of concept 1.0, Keith did exceptionally well. So we'll talk about the meme coin and just how big of a marketplace it actually is. And this was happening without me. Okay. This is going to happen with or without us. I just want to make sure that we are in position to take advantage of it. Meme coins are community driven. All right. Also, often they come from some social buzz, but they are volatile and they are speculative. Um, and a big reason why they are volatile and so speculative is because um, most meme coins really do not provide any real world value. The question should be this: anytime you're looking at any way to generate additional revenue or to have some price appreciation of an asset, one of the questions you should ask yourself is, what problem is this project solving? What solution to the marketplace is this project bringing? Okay. And that's where you're going to see in a few moments where Sosana is definitely differentiating itself from other meme coins. So here's one of the challenges with meme coins: they have, by and large, limited utility. So, once again, what problems are meme coins solving? Most aren't solving any problems. One of the bigger meme coins out there is worth about $2 billion right now as it relates to market cap. Trump coin. And I'm not here to talk politics, whether you love or loathe. Okay. But he's got a meme coin. My question, that maybe some of you that love Trump, and maybe you have, whether you love or loathe, you might have some Trump coin. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know. What problem does the Trump meme coin solve? Or is it because he's very popular? All right. Again, $2 billion. Well, one of the challenges with most meme coins is there's limited to no utility. Now, I hope my buddy's not on the Zoom, or if he is, I'm not going to say who it is, so you won't know who it is. So hopefully he won't get ticked off with me. So I'm reaching out to a dear marketing buddy of mine. This guy has built some very large businesses, and I wasn't trying to recruit him necessarily from a standpoint of, hey, come and build here, because the reality is folks could just own the Sosana tokens. The more people that own Sosana tokens, the better it's going to be for all of us. Okay. Well, I sent him some information, and he hits me back and he says, hey, I have my own coin. I have my own token. Check it out. My question was, oh, okay, cool. What utility does your token have or your project have? What problem are you solving? And again, if he's here, don't beat me up. I'm not going to say your name. And guess what the answer was? No utility. He's not solving any problems. Now, he might do okay with it because he's got a large community. All right. But long term, is it going to be something that we want to depend on if there's not a problem that's being solved? Maybe not. Okay. Another problem is in the marketplace, in the cryptocurrency at large, and in the meme coin space more specifically. There's a lot of risks associated. There's a lot of pump and dumping that happens. So a lot of these meme coins, all right, maybe some groups will develop some trading robots, and they'll pump up the price, right? They'll come in, they'll buy a lot All right. And what happens when there's buy pressure? Prices go up, right? And then that same robot will turn around maybe in just a few seconds later because it's pumped up the price and then go and dump it, go and sell it. Okay. So you're going to see how Sosana looks to mitigate our risks. We can never eliminate the risk, but we can do things to mitigate, and we'll see what Sosana has come up with to help us to mitigate our risk. We're also going to take a look at some popular some popular meme coins. Um, some people call it doggy coin, doggy coin. Anyway, the dog coin, Dog, gosh, I'm really messing that up. Let me go move away from that because I just flubbed that up. Shiba and Pepe, to name a few. Okay, so I want you to get comfortable and I want you to get used to going to a site called CoinMarketCap.com. We're going to go there live in just a few moments. Okay, what CoinMarketCap does is it features the top cryptocurrency assets in the entire space. So when I pulled this a few weeks ago, about maybe 3 weeks or so ago, the market cap of the entire cryptocurrency space, as measured by CoinMarketCap, was just under 3.3 trillion with a T. Okay. Now, on CoinMarketCap, it's going to give you the largest of the cryptocurrency assets as measured by something called market cap. What is market cap? Market cap is the circulating supply, the number of tokens or coins, all right, of that particular cryptocurrency asset multiplied times the price. That gives you the market cap. Okay. So you'll notice you're going to see some assets that might be priced, where you could buy it for pennies or even less than pennies, but they have a huge market cap. That's usually because they've got a really big circulating supply. Now, the reason I wanted to come here is I wanted to note a couple of things here. One, I want you to pay attention to the number 6 asset in the entire cryptocurrency space called Solana. Now, the project we're participating in will be Sosana with an S. Sosana is built on Solana. Solana is the blockchain or the network upon which Sosana is built upon. So I want you to see that Solana is one of the biggest assets there is in the entire cryptocurrency space. 3 weeks ago, or whenever I pull this, it was about an 80 billion with a B market cap. We'll go to the markets live in a few moments and we'll see how big that is. Now, I wanted to show this because I wanted to point out Dogecoin here. Okay. Do not confuse that with Doge of the US government, the cost cutting, measures there. Okay. Because Dogecoin has been around since like 2013. Now, this is a meme coin. That's why I wanted to show it, because I want you to understand that a meme coin doesn't necessarily mean just pump and dump. And obviously with Sosana, we want to pump and hold. We want to see it pump. We want to hold. Okay. We certainly don't want to see pump and dump. We'll show you why we believe that Sosana has put some guardrails in place to help protect against those types of risks. Okay. But I want you to see that this is a meme coin that 3 weeks ago was valued at $24 billion based on its market cap. All right. So let's go to Wikipedia real quickly. All right. And let's find out a little bit more about this dog coin. All right. It was designed by Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer, who decided to create a payment system as a what? As a joke. Who's laughing now? As a joke. Making fun of the wild speculation in cryptocurrencies at the time, it is considered both the first meme coin and, more specifically, the first dog coin. Despite the satirical nature, some consider it a legitimate investment project. Prospect. Well, why wouldn't I? It's $24 billion market cap. Let's go to another quick internet resource here. Talks about it again. That is a fun and friendly internet currency, referring to its origins as a joke. And yet, in the first couple of weeks of launch, they had a market cap that exceeded $8 million. Now, that $8 million in the first couple of weeks has now ballooned, as of a few weeks ago, $24 billion. So when Keith gets me on to a private Zoom with Mark Cross, and he's telling me about the project, and he's telling me about some of the things they learned from 1.0, and now they're going to 2.0. I asked Mark, I said, Mark, I know that Sosana started off 1.0 at a tenth of a penny. And in 1.0, it got up to 19 cents. I asked Mark, what did that mean in terms of market cap? He said right around 8 million. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. You're telling me that Sosana 1.0 at its in 1.0, its market cap in a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, got to 8 million. Dogecoin, 8 million in the first 2 weeks. Okay. I'm not saying we're going to be Dogecoin. I'm not saying we're going to be $24 billion in market cap. But I do know that Mark and David Track, the founder, they definitely want to see this being a multi-billion-dollar project, and I believe we're going to make it. So let's go back in time real quickly. Let's go back, and I want you to pay attention. Hopefully you can see this. So when you go to coinmarketcap.com and you click on any of those assets, it allows you to go and do a little research about that asset. So I did that with Dogecoin, and I went back to 2015, a little over 10 years ago. Excuse me. At that time, Dogecoin was going for 0.0001412. Now, the other day, when I pulled this, Dogecoin was at 16 cents. All right. So it was going for less than a tenth of a penny. It was going for less than 100th of a penny. Okay. Now, if we were to take what it was going for the other day, all right, when I did this screenshot, and we said, okay, if I had $100 and just bought $100 worth, or if I had $1,000 and bought $1,000 worth, what would that be worth 10 years later? All right. So let's have some fun with this. So you take the prevailing price, you subtract out what you could have bought it for. Okay. That gives you your profit. Had we done that, all right, obviously I did not do it, but had I done this, and then you take that profit and you divide it by what you could have bought it for way back when. And what this tells you is your value would have increased by 1,140 times. So if you had $100 and it increased by 1,140 times, that $100 10 years ago would be worth $114,000 right now. That's the power of buying and holding. Now, with Sosana, will you be able to buy and then sell? And if you bought low and you sold high and take some profits, yeah, anytime you want to. All right, it's going to be open to the marketplace. This is not a closed-in system. No, you are going to the market to get your Sosana you're going to the market to sell your Sosana. But as much as possible, we want folks to be hodlers, people that hold Sosana. Why? The other day, I'm on a private Zoom with Mark and with Keith, and Mark stretches my vision. He says, I can't make any promises, but I can see, all right, no promises. I could see Sosana going to $100 a token. Well, if we can get it, maybe for tenths of a penny, several tenths maybe, or pennies, or nickels, or dimes, or quarters, don't you want to hold on and see what the end's going to be? If indeed it gets to $10, if indeed it gets to $71, if indeed it gets to $100, okay? What if we did $1,000 with Dogecoin? That'd be $1.14 million 10 years later, okay? So that's the advantage of holding an asset that has the potential, all right, of tremendous price appreciation. Okay. So I want us to look at what happened in just 2.5 weeks with Keith. March 27th, $3,910. You don't need $3,910, by the way. April 12th, 263. All of my disclaimers, if and maybe perhaps, don't hurt yourself. If you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to participate with it. Okay. All right. So let's go and look at some more meme coins. We're going to look at Shiba. We're going to look at Pepe. So give me just a moment. All right. So we are at coinmarketcap.com. All right. So we're at coinmarketcap.com. Let me just refresh to make sure we've got the most up-to-date data. All right. So while we're here, what I want us to do is I want us to look at some of the top meme coins, and we're going to pay attention to their market cap. And we're also going to look at the 24-hour volume. How much of this asset has traded hands in buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So when you come to coinmarketcap.com, come down here where it says memes. This is going to show you the largest of the meme coins as shown by market cap. So you can see now where I think on the PowerPoint, Dogecoin was 24 billion about 3 weeks ago, now up to 34 billion, okay? But it's number 8 in the entire list of cryptocurrency assets. Shiba, meme coin, almost 8 billion in market cap, okay? Pepe, over 5 billion in market cap. Now, Sosana will have a maximum supply of 88,888,888 tokens. Not all of that is going to be released at one time. Did I say that right? 88 million? Yeah, 88 million. Okay. So if you do the math, if you took $1 billion, divided it by the 88,888,888, for us to get to $1 billion market cap, the Sosana token would be going for something like $11.25. And so for 2 billion, simply multiply that. If we have a $2 billion market cap in time, Sosana token would be going for $22 and some change, $22.50 thereabout. Okay. So when Mark tells Keith and I that he can't promise this, but they are looking at a $100 price target. Well, I know that the maximum supply is 88 million. That would put us at just under, if we ever got there, just under a $9 billion market cap. Well, shoot, Doge in the first 2 weeks, $8 million market cap. Sosana 1.0, first couple of weeks in 1.0, $8 million market cap. if I never told a soul about Sosana, but I got as many Sosana tokens as my resources allow without me hurting my family. And I definitely want to be there when they say, green light, you can go on and get Sosana tokens. That could happen as early as next week. Okay. Definitely want to be there when that happens, because I may not get it any cheaper than when they launch it. So I want to get as many as I possibly can. And I want to hold on to as many as I possibly can. Because what if we got to Pepe at 5 billion, that would mean the Sosana token would be over $50 a token. So what if you got it for 50 cents? What if you got it for, no, not 50 cents. What if you got it for a penny, a nickel? There we go. What if you got it for a few dimes? What could that mean for you and your family? Now, let's do this real quickly. You see right here where it says number, this is the ranking of the asset based on the market cap on CoinMarketCap, all the digital assets, all of the cryptocurrency assets out there. So let's see how many are in the top 100. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Trump coin is at 6, just right at 2 billion in market cap. And again, I'm not making a political statement there. I'm making an economic one, though. All right. What did I say? Was that 6? I was talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trump was 6. There we go. 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 meme coins in the top 100 of the entire CoinMarketCap universe. Okay. 1 out of every 10 is a meme coin. And most of these meme coins, if we were to dig in, we would find out they really have little to no utility. Okay. Now, I want you to also, real quickly, I want you to take a quick mental shot of this volume, 24-hour volume. That's going to come into play as we start to talk about the utility of Sosana. All right. So now with that, let's talk about the utility of Sosana. Why do we believe this will be a multi-billion-dollar project? We have to look at problems in the marketplace, because if we can identify problems in the marketplace, one, and we can provide solutions to those problems in the marketplace, then we can do exceptionally well. One of my multimillionaire mentors said, if you can find the problem and bring the solution to that problem to the marketplace, you can get rich. That's what he said. All right. So number one, limited utility. That's an issue in the marketplace, in the meme coin marketplace, and in the larger cryptocurrency marketplace. There's a lot of tokens out there that aren't meme coins, but they really don't have much utility. Okay. And then number two, risks, particularly rug pulls, outright scams. And in some cases, they're not scams, but they get pumped and dumped because of trading robots. All right. So what is Sosana doing to bring utility and to mitigate our risk? Here we go. To understand what they're doing, we need to understand that Sosana has taxes. Sosana charges a 3% tax anytime we buy, anytime we sell, anytime we convert. Okay. 3% tax. Now, outside of Sosana, I'm not a big fan of taxes. Okay. But inside of Sosana, we love Sosana taxes. Why is that? Okay. Well, let's first talk about eradicating pump and dumps because of trading robots. Okay. So Sosana, the project that we're engaging in, is built on the Solana network. The Solana network, again, is the number 6 asset in the entire cryptocurrency space. And one of the reasons why is because Solana has made it very easy for projects to launch in the cryptocurrency world, i.e., my buddy who said, "Hey, go check out my token," and I asked him what utility does his project have? What solution is he providing? And he said none. Okay. Well, see, because of the ease, he was able to launch a token on Solana. Now, because of that ease, you got tons of tokens, you got tons of projects. Mark said there are thousands of projects that come onto the Solana network every single day. Now, let me tell you one of the things that happens. Solana, ease of use, ease of launching a project, very little fees. I remember Ethereum. Ethereum was really hot. A lot of projects were launching on Ethereum, and then they ran into an issue with something called gas fees. Gas fees are basically transaction fees to move Ethereum, from one wallet to another, or to buy it or sell it, or what have you, or the tokens that are built on the Ethereum network. At one point, I remember a project that was doing really well, but then the gas fees got so high on Ethereum, it basically caused that project to go down the tubes. There was no scam, all right? It was just that the fees were so exorbitant. We've seen the same thing happen, maybe to a lesser degree, with projects built on the Tron network. Here of late, Tron fees have been pretty high for those what they call gas fees or transaction fees. Solana has very, very, very low fees. And that sounds good until you find out about how trading bots work. So what has happened to a lot of projects? They weren't scams. They were good projects. But trading bots came in, and what a trading bot would do is it would buy a large amount of the token. So a lot of these projects are just kind of getting their footing. They're not big in terms of market cap yet. All right. They might be just a few thousands, few tens of thousands, few hundreds of thousands of dollars in market cap, hadn't hit, the tens of millions or billions or what have you. And so now here comes a trading bot. It buys up a bunch of the tokens, skyrockets the price. The price goes parabolic, and then it turns right around and sells it. And so the trading bot, the people behind the trading bot, they're the ones getting rich, but then those projects are getting hurt because their liquidity pools. If you don't know what a liquidity pool is, make a note of it. Go and Google it. Liquidity pools get drained. And so thereby many projects get drained because folks are out there that don't mean the project any good, developing trading bots specifically to raid the liquidity pools of these projects, which then causes these projects to go vanish. It wasn't a scam. It was a pump and dump. It wasn't necessarily a scam. It may have been a pump and dump. Now, what did Sosana do? They said, we have a 3% tax coming in, going out. So, okay, somebody wants to do a bot, wants to come and try to raid Sosana. They're going to pay 3% going in. They're going to pay 3% going out. They're going to pay 6% round trip. And guess what? They're going to say there are thousands of projects coming on a day on Solana. I'm not going to pay 6% round trip. It's not going to make good financial sense. Let me go prey on something else. Does that lion, my favorite animal, does that lion go after the strongest buffalo, or is it looking for the one that's hobbled, looking for the calf? He's looking for the calf. He's not going after the big, the big bull. No. So right there, that greatly lowers pump and dump risk. Does it eliminate it altogether? I'm not going to say it eliminates it, but it greatly reduces it. Okay? Because we want to be longer term holders. Now, are there going to be ups and downs in pricing? Yeah, that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, let's say we get the token, we're there when this baby launches, and we get these really good prices, right? All right, and then it goes up, and some people may sell some off and might have a dip. That wouldn't be the time to say, oh no, that'd be the time to say, oh yes, because now I got some resources I didn't have before. Let me turn that into crypto assets so I can buy some more Sosana, because it came down a little bit. Okay. All right. I love Sosana taxes. Now, so we got 3% in, 3% out. 1% of the 3% is going to go to shore up the liquidity pools. Remember, I said one of the reasons that other projects may go away, not because they were scams. You have those trading robots that raid the liquidity pool. In your personal time, go and check out what a liquidity pool is. Okay. All right. So let's say in time, we're doing $1 million a day in volume. We're doing $10 million a day in volume. Okay. 1% of that is going into the liquidity pool from the 3% tax. Number two, 1% of those taxes are going for marketing. So not only are people like Michael Palermo or Tyron or Keith Lacey, yours truly, that have been folks that have built large affiliate teams, are out here getting the message out, but the Sosana will take from the taxes to promote Sosana. What is that going to mean? That's going to be more and more people hearing about it. And why is that going to be important? Because if I'm a hodler, if I'm holding on to Sosana tokens, the more eyeballs that get to Sosana, no matter how they got there, and more people coming into the Sosana ecosystem and buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling, then the better that is for these pools with the taxes, the better that is, particularly if people are holding on to a nice percentage of what they buy. That increases buy pressure. But here's the big one. Here's the big one for the purposes of our conversation tonight, okay? 1% of that goes into a voter wallet, a voter pool, okay? Now, why is that important? This is the major utility of the Sosana token. The ability to, one, nominate projects to be voted on by the community. Now, if you want to be a nominator, what are you nominating? You would be nominating a project or projects that you think is a worthwhile project that you have seen that's on the Solana network. Okay. Some of you are going to opt to do that. Why would you want to do that? Because if you are a nominator and the project that you nominate is voted on by the community as the most worthwhile project in that voting cycle, now whether it is or not, that's what the community said. Okay, you as the nominator would receive $500 worth of Sosana, and that's the start. That could increase going down the road. Now, what happens if you nominated and you got and what the project you nominated won the nomination, won the vote, and you got 500 in Sosana and you decided to hold on to it, and now all of a sudden Sosana gets to $100 as the price target, maybe down the road, okay, whatever 500 times 100 is, that, what is that? Is that 50,000 or 500,000? That's a big number. All right, big number. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about the person who doesn't have $500 worth of Sosana, or a person who doesn't go out to find a project to nominate. Let's talk about, let's call Joe and Sue average. With $50 worth of Sosana, you get to vote on the projects that were nominated. So even if you're not the one nominating, there's going to be members There's going to be community members of Sosana that are going to nominate projects. Okay. And when they nominate a project, anyone that holds $50 worth of Sosana token will be able to go in, check out each of those projects, and they'll be able to vote on the project they think is the best project of the projects that were nominated for that cycle. So let's say there were 10 projects nominated for the cycle. You go in, you check them out, you say, you know what, this one right here resonates with me. I'm going to vote for that one. Okay. You only need $50 worth of Sosana to do so. Now, at the end of the vote, what's going to happen is there's going to be people that voted for the winner. It's going to be multiple people that voted for the winning project. So let's say there's 10 projects. You voted for project number 3. And so did Jerry, and so did Thomas, and so did Marie, and so did Charlene, and so did Albert. And so more people in the community voted for project 3. So project 3 wins the vote. Yay! Now, what does that mean for those of us that voted for the winning project? Here we go. What Sosana is going to do, remember that 3% tax? 1% of the 3%, so a full third of that tax is going into that voter pool. Whatever the project is that won the vote, Sosana is going to take from that voter pool 1% of the 3% and go and buy the token of the project that won. And then it's going to distribute out all those tokens it just bought to all of the winners of the vote. Meaning there's one project that won, all the people that voted for the winner, to all the people that voted for the winner. Now, when they did this in 1.0, what happened was the project that won, the ones that voted for that project received about $375 worth of the tokens of the winning project. Now, what does this allow those that win? What does this allow them to do? It allows them free of charge to start building a crypto portfolio of other projects that the community has said, we think this is a worthwhile project. Okay. So there were folks, I think there were 11 winners on that first vote that all got tokens of that other project. So now they're holding on to some Sosana, right? We know they had to have at least $50 worth of Sosana just to be able to vote. Okay. The other thing that happened is now you had people that won, that voted for the winning project. They got free tokens. Now, what can you do with those tokens? You can hold on to it, hodl them as well. Or you could sell them on the open market. That would have been $375 worth. Or you can do any combination. So maybe you sell some to pocket some usable, spendable cash, and maybe you'll hold on to some. Because what happens if one of those projects becomes a 10 times project? Meaning 10 times the initial value. What happens if it becomes a 50 times or 100 times project? So this allows us to be able to develop a token portfolio. Doggone it. I didn't vote for the winning project. 10 projects. I voted for project number 7, and project number 3 won the vote. No, no doggone it. Don't be hitting your fist. Don't get mad. No profanity. This is a family show. Guess what's going to happen? all community members will know the project that won. And an hour before Sosana takes from that voter pool 1% of all of the volume that has happened over a 2-week period. Voting is going to expand over a 2-week period to start. Okay, so every 2 weeks. So all the buy and sell volume, 3% tax, 1/3 of that 1% goes into that voter wallet. Okay, that's going to go to buy tokens of the winning project. I didn't win in my example, but what's going to happen? I'm going to know, you're going to know, we're going to know before Sosana buys the token of the winning project. We're going to know what the winning project is. And guess what that means we can do? By the way, y'all remember Martha Stewart? She went to jail because of insider trading. Well, folks, we have foreknowledge, but it's totally legal. Nobody's going to jail. So we're going to know what the project is that won, and we get to go and buy the token of that project before Sosana does. Now, why is that important? I almost finished here. Just about. Just about finished. Let's look again at some of these meme coins and look at their 24-hour volume. I'm not going to look at Dogecoin just yet. You know, we're a long way off to getting a $34 billion market cap. But I want us to go down. All right. Here is a $1.92 billion market cap. Oh, that's Trump. 729 million in volume in the last 24 hours. Remember, 3%, a 3% tax. All right. And 1% of that is going into the voter pool or the voter wallet. Okay. Also be thinking 1% of that is going to marketing. So this is going to be a lot of marketing dollars. Be thinking 1% of that is going into the liquidity pool. That's going to help stabilize the price. So yes, we want it to go up. All right. But we don't want to have those huge dumps. All right. So we get rid of the robots, and we've got a built-in mechanism that solidifies or is growing the liquidity pool. Okay. So let's see here. We got to go past 100 to find an asset that has 5 million in volume. If we get to the point where we've got 5 million a day in volume, that means that that voter pool is growing by $50,000 a day. If we average 5 million in volume, I think that may have come down to 4. I think it said 5 million a few moments ago, but it's over a 24-hour period. Okay. All right. So let's use 5 million as an example. If we're doing 5 million in time, average volume a day, that's 50,000 going into that voter pool over 14 days. I think that would be 7 million. I think I could be wrong on that. All right. So whatever 50,000 is times 14 days. Let's do my calculator real quickly. $14 days times 50,000. I'm saying if we ever got to the point where we're doing 5 million a day, okay, 700,000. So could you imagine the day coming where Sosana's about to take $700,000 and going to go buy a token, and maybe that token only has a $2 or $3 million market cap, and all of a sudden here comes Sosana making a $700,000 purchase, a third of its market cap or half of its market cap or 25% of its market cap. What's going to happen to the price? Is it going to go down when they're making that purchase? Or is it likely going to go up, and maybe parabolically so? And so what if you bought some of that token, whether you won the voting process or not? Maybe it's $10 worth. Maybe it's $100 worth. Whatever fits your family. But can you imagine every couple of weeks that happening? Now, you see, we had to go really low to find a project, a meme coin project. We had to go to number 182 to find a meme coin project that was at like 5 million. We'd have to go to 207 on CoinMarketCap to find one that's less than $1 million a day. So we're just about finished. I want you to see just how powerful this is. I want you to hear it. This is a this is a character based on Mark Ross. All right, I call this Lil Mark. So let's watch this. It's going to be about 3 minutes so that you can really get this. All right, here we go.
What's up, Sosana family and all you degens out there in the Solana network? Sosana just made history. Our first ever community voting round is officially in the books, and it was representative of the beginning of something that is going to grow and become what we believe is so special. A few small glitches, sure, but overall the basic functions of the system worked like a charm. Hats off to our great developer and to David Track and all the work they put in to make this happen. Let's take you through the action and show you how real utility just met real results. Right here you're seeing the nominate and voter board, where all the tokens nominated by the community were revealed. Then, just like that, the nominations vanish as the round officially closes. That's the moment we shift into results. Now the top 10 tokens are revealed, and the winner? Shift AI took the crown, backed by strong community support. We now drop into the deck screener by pasting in the contract address for shift.ai. And check this out. You can literally see where the degen voter bonus wallet made its purchase. The first purchase in Sosana history, making crypto history worldwide. That green candle spike right there, that's the result of the vote, and that's power in motion. Now, let that sink in. We are still so early. Imagine what kind of chart movement this will create when we've got thousands of holders and voters behind each round. This is just the beginning.
Okay, so folks, all right, I want you to see this. So let's say, and this is what happened in 1.0, okay? What happened in 1.0, the winners, or the ones that voted on the winning project, they got about $375 worth of shift.ai. That was the winning project, okay? So they got their tokens, but the advantage that we all will have is that we'll be able to go and buy the tokens an hour before Sosana goes and buys those tokens. So even if I was one of the ones that voted for the winner, okay, I'm still going to go in and buy those tokens before Sosana buys the tokens. Now, I don't know what type of, you can see here that the token price was 0.00011. Well, it was down here. Yeah, so it was about 1/100th of a penny, less than 1/100th of a penny. All right. So let's say that on this little red thing here, let's say that's an hour before. This is a 15-minute chart. So each one of these represents 15 minutes. So if we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, right here, that little green candle right there is roughly when we would have found out about the winner. And so we would have been able to buy right in here, okay? And then an hour later, look at what happens. Now, I don't know what this price was. It was less than 0.00011. It was less than that because we're right down here. And then it goes to really 0.00, almost 12. So right there was a huge, huge return. Now, again, whether you decided to hold on to all of those tokens that you bought, whether you decided, you know what, that was a nice little payday, I'm going to take some. I'm going to hold some, I'm going to take some. It's totally up to you because you're in a free market. You're in a free market. Okay. All right. Just about finished. Here we go.
Next, we take a look at Shift.ai's Twitter profile. These guys are building AI solutions for Web3, merging decentralized tech with real-time data-driven insights. Their site looks tight, clean, forward-thinking, exactly the kind of quality project our community is here to discover and elevate. Projects like this get overlooked, but not anymore. With Sosana, we give deserving teams visibility, and we reward the communities behind them. Back to the chart. There's that spike again. That was us. And if we can do that now, think about the momentum we'll have in the weeks and months ahead.
Okay, so as they zoomed in on that, now we see that thing went up to 1372, and it was less than 1100. Obviously, I'm not factoring in all those zeros. So if you do that math, that was a quick. Hold on, let me see. I'm just curious. 1372 minus 0.00011 divided by 0.00011. Folks, that was a quick 24% return. So if you had $100 that you used to buy that Shift .ai, your $100 went from 100 to 124, almost 125, like that. You did $1,000 for Shift AI. Your $1,000 made $247 like that. Now, obviously, to realize that, you would have had to, sell. But listen, in a situation like that, you could say, you know what, I'm a keep the profit there, but let me take out my original principal because in another couple of weeks I'm gonna do the same thing. However you want to do it, however you want to do it. Okay, powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Every 2 weeks, that's going to happen. Just about finished.
Now we're back to the DApp, and round 2 has already begun. Nominations are open, a brand new cycle has started. Let's go again. Here's one last look at the top 10 from round 1. You can even see the wallet address of the nominator who submitted Shift.ai. Pure transparency, total community-driven movement. And this right here, that chart, that's what happens when a project wins a Sosana vote. That's real impact from real people in real time, straight from our community to theirs. But this is just the start. With every vote, every round, every reward, we're building something revolutionary. Not just hype, but real rewarding utility for the Solana ecosystem. So if you're already holding Sosana, get ready. If you're not, what are you waiting for? Nominate, vote, win, repeat. Unlike any other meme project, at Sosana there's always something new and exciting every voting round. It doesn't get boring here, it just grows.
All right, folks. By the way, I'm just looking at these numbers because now I'm seeing 15-minute chart. 1, 2, 3. Right here was less than 0.0001049. So it was actually a bigger return if we had bought here and now we were up there. Your return was even larger there. Okay, now let's start the round third because I think I'm past my time. I am going to ask for your indulgence for just a few more minutes here. as we start the round third. Okay. All right. So let's give you some important nuggets. By the way, got a message directly from Mark today to say that we are going to have um, the word has escaped me. Um, Pre-launch links. That's not the word I was looking for, but pre-enrollment links. There we go. We're going to have pre-enrollment links. Don't have a date for that. I would imagine maybe sometime early next week. Targeted launch between July 28th, which is Monday, to August 1st. Be mindful. We're dealing with technology. And I know I've been there launching projects in the past, and then the programmer tells me one thing, I go out and I tell the whole world, and then the programmer says, I just uncovered a little bug, we got to squash that. And so if it doesn't happen on July 28th, if it doesn't happen on August the 1st, as much as I want it to happen next week, we're going to be patient. Okay. All right. And if it takes even a little bit longer than that, that means we get our better positioning, get more funds ready to go, and all that good stuff. All right. But August 28th, I'm sorry, July 28th, August 1st is the target. All right. No links just yet. But again, I found out from Mark that we are going to have some pre-enrollment links. I don't know when, but we're going to have some pre-enrollment links. Some of you were asking about that. So that is going to happen. Do not go and purchase any Sosana now. Were there some Sosana tokens obviously purchased in Sosana 1.0? The answer to that is yes. They are converting the smart contract. It's a brand new smart contract. They're going to have that completely audited to show that there's no back doors or no rug pull opportunities and all that good stuff. Okay. So do not make any purchases of any Sosana right now. I do want you to get your Phantom wallet set up. This is the wallet that we're going to use. We're going to set the Phantom wallet up. Very simple to do so. If you don't know how, email us. All right, we'll send you a video, or make sure you're in our Telegram or Sosana's Telegram. There's content there that easily walks you through a Phantom wallet setup, even if you're brand new and know nothing about cryptocurrency. Then you're going to want to buy some Solana so that once you have your Phantom wallet set up, you'll move Solana into the Phantom wallet. We'll make sure you know how to do all that stuff, okay? So that once they give us the green light, we can then swap our Solana for Sosana. You want to have at least $50 worth so that you can vote. I'm suggesting that you pad that, maybe buy 10 or 20 bucks. Maybe have $60 or $70, because even though we expect Sosana to go up, all right, at least I do. I can't make those promises. There could be some buying and selling. There's going to always be buying and selling. All right. And so just in case the value dips, I don't want it to dip below $50, which then would not allow you to be able to vote unless you put more funds into the kitty. All right. So I would pad it. 50 is the minimum. I would do 60 or 70. Okay. You're also going to get a chance to purchase a membership. It's called the Community Hub membership for the first 1,000, and I think they may even modify this and make it a time a period to give people time in case they're at work and can't be one of the first 1,000. Okay. But with this membership, a couple of major things. There's going to be some educational pieces in there. The real big winner financially is twofold. Number one, just like we have the voting every 2 weeks on existing projects, there will be voting once a month on pre-launch projects. These are projects that they haven't even hit yet. So talk about the bottom basement of the bottom basement type pricing. We'll vote on those. All right. And if you win the vote, then when those tokens are available, you're going to get your pro rata share of the tokens. All right. And if you don't win the vote, meaning you don't vote on the winning project of a pre-launch project, we're going to know about it before most of the rest of the world. So just as soon as those tokens are available, we can do just like we did before, go and buy some of those tokens. It's $99 one time, lifetime, if you're one of those first 1,000. If you come in after that, either time window that they have or the 1,000, then your outlay will be $149, and the highest membership is $299, all in Sosana. And those other two packages would be annual. So I want as many of our folks to get those $99 packages, so you don't have any other outlay as it relates to that. And it's going to be purchased in Sosana, so even that is going to help with buy pressure. Didn't have time to talk about the affiliate program tonight. We'll come back. We'll talk about the affiliate program a little bit later. So follow very closely with Telegram, with emails. Let me put again that contact information. I'm going to have to skedaddle here so that I can be on the road at 2 in the morning. All right. So there again is our email address. All right. So I would be the one that would see your email. Okay. Now, obviously, tomorrow, it may be later in the day before I get to some of those emails, because I am going to be on the road the first early in the morning and in the first part of the morning and what have you. Again, take a snapshot if you need to with your phone. Come inside of our team Telegram as well as Sosana's Telegram. All right. This has been recorded. We will get this recording out. If it's not later tomorrow, it'll be likely sometime over the weekend. But if we get it done, I'll edit it and we'll get that out to you by either email or Telegram. With that being said, I love each and every one of you. Get ready for Sosana. We love each and every one of you. Let's transform this world together, starting with yours. Good night, everyone. Good night.